are entering Rio Grande City. These are some hills that you'll see on the sides. This is a pretty big house up here on this hill. There's a rumor, who knows if it's true, but the rumor is that this used to be a volcano, a little tiny volcano years ago that is now inactive. So I'm about to cross these railroad tracks and hike up that hill by myself. Please don't do things like this by yourself, guys. It is not a very safe thing to leave your car in the middle of nowhere on the side of railroad tracks and hike up something. This is an area where it's kind of dry and it doesn't rain that much. So when you live in an area that's kind of dry, see, I'm making a lot of progress. When you live in an area that's kind of dry and hot, the way it is here, it's hot and dry, you tend to get plants with a lot more spikes. That's kind of a defense mechanism that all of these plants have. So the plants try to retain, which means they try to keep in as much of the water that they can inside of themselves. I think I just totally messed up that sentence. What I mean is that cactus, for example, has a lot of water inside of it. Since it's really dry here, there's going to be animals that are going to be trying to get to the cactus because it's so juicy and full of water. And these animals want to get to that juicy stuff inside. They can't, though, if there's all these spikes on it. It makes it more difficult. So if you look at most of the trees and the plants, little shrubs and bushes and anything like that that I'm passing through, they're gonna have a lot of spikes. See, let me try not to fall over here. And like I said, it's a defense mechanism. Look at my progress. My car's way over there. So, as I explained, I'm in Rio Grande City right now. This is where I'm hiking up the Santa Cruz. This hill that I'm on is called the Santa Cruz. Now it's called the Santa Cruz because it has a cross on top. Santa means holy and Cruz means cross. So I'm hiking up to the Holy Cross. Oh, it's getting steep. Now we're getting close to the top of this thing. And you have this right here. So a lot of people come out here. And they come out here to pray. And they leave veladoras, which are these big candles right here. They light these big candles, they leave them on. Of course, this is part of the Catholic religion. With my Cultures and World Geography class, we've talked about different religions in the world. We've discussed Christianity, and we've discussed Catholics. See, there's some more stuff up there. Can I get up there? Let me try. Yep, I can. I've never been up here to this part, so I was scared I was gonna fall, but we're taking risks today. Yeah, today we're taking risks. Now we're gonna keep spiraling up the hill. I just want you guys to know that I only fell once. That's the first time I fell. I made it without falling more than once. So now, there we go. Now we're at the good stuff. We are pretty much at the top of the hill. So if we look down there, that's where I came from. And this is where, under here, under this big rock, and under that rock, that's where all the stuff is, where all the candles are. Now we're gonna look around up here. This is the Santa Cruz. Let me show you around a little bit. See, when you get to the edge, it looks really cool. Sitting on this rock very close to the edge. Let's take a little break. Oh, way too close to the edge. Got my balance. I'm good. Just so y'all can get a better idea of how big this is. This is an incredibly tall. You guys would not understand how long it took me to get back down. I was going real slow because I was terrified that I was going to trip and roll down the hill. I'm gonna pause so everybody can giggle and make comments. Alright, let's move on. Right now, we're driving down downtown Old Rio Grande. Look at these old historic buildings. They are awesome. They're very well preserved, and we're gonna stop by the Borde house. Let me pass by the front just so you guys can see what it looks like. Look at that. I just want to point out that these lights are super old. So the La Borde house was designed in Paris in the 1800s. Look at this. Entered in the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. So here we go. We are on a virtual tour right now, guys. Check out all the awesome stuff. That's the back door. That's where we're gonna enter. So I'm just showing you guys the outside real quick. Just because, well, we're here already. Might as well show you all of this area. One time that I stayed here, I had some friends that tried to go in there and they're like, it's closed. I was like, yes, it is. So how true is it that this tunnel went all the way to the...
To Mexico?
Yeah.
Well, the river is 2 blocks from here. So the tunnel used to go under the 83 and it will get you to Mexico on that side of the river.
So it literally goes to the border. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then one day, I don't know, I came and that door there ended up over here. So I told my coworker, you know what, I don't know what that door is doing there. We didn't know from where he came out. I mean, he was right here. So he went down there and La Paró, he just put it there. But if the door were not there, you will be able to see like 2 stairs going down.
Oh, gotcha. So it goes down and then it goes that way. Okay, so it still goes
And
deeper.
I'm gonna ask Roberto porque está.
So as I was about to start recording, this door decided to hit my butt. So we're just gonna stay away from that door. So as I've told you guys a lot about this place, I am totally in love with this place because of how well preserved it is. It is beautiful. Oh, by the way, look at this carpet. I don't know why I have a thing for really pretty rugs. It's gonna be really creepy if I capture something in the video. So keep an eye out. And that's the door we came in through.
Governor John Connolly stayed.
Wow. Like he actually stayed here. Wow. That is amazing. I didn't drop it though. So I've always thought that these toilet things where the thing was all the way up there, it's kind of cool. Every time I see toilets like that, I always think like, what did people do when there was a leak? Like toilet water probably fell on them. Because toilets leak all the time. So we just came out of that room, the La Borde room, and now we're going up the stair. This is a big staircase. It's kind of long.
So 23 steps.
23 steps. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a house with this many steps in a while. And this one's the Autobahn. This is a room that I've always been too creeped out to stay in. I've stayed in
The red room?
the Ringgold, the Maria Tejas, and the Red Room. I've never stayed in this one. This is like the one that I'm like, nope.
Why?
I don't know. I get a weird feeling in here.
That's weird because like when people come, they say, you know, I want the yellow room because it looks more like quiet.
Really?
And there's people, you need to see it to believe it. Pero like when I give tours, me ha pasado like unas 3 or 4 times. It was a lady, she just walked in, she just went like that and she goes, I'm feeling sick.
Wow.
And she started vomiting and it was a red room.
So she just walked in the Red Room and walked back out?
She just went like that.
That is
you need to see it
crazy.
to believe me, but it's true.
No, I imagine the
And
stuff
then
you've
was
probably
another
seen.
2 girls that came for a tour.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, she just stepped in and she goes, I'm feeling sick, I just want to vomit. And luego su friend dice, dice a la otra, no, it smells so, que olía feo. La otra dice, no, it smells good. And she will kneel down on the floor and she will smell the carpet. Y la otra, she was vomiting.
That's crazy. This is the Rio Grande room. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories here and, stories from here. And it's amazing to hear the stories and then be in here.
People, like I tell people, people come and go. Some of them they will tell me, you know what, I heard this during the night, or Asina, so I got scared, we just left. O otro me dice, no, we didn't hear anything. So, bueno, este es el María Texas, y that's a Ringo, pero este no lo puedo abrir porque they rented out for like a month.
Gotcha. María Texas.
For Lady of Johnson's State.
Wow. Wife of U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson.
Ya le cambié esta cinta.
This is where she stayed when she visited Stark County for her spring wildflower exploration. I've stayed here before. I've always liked this room. For whatever reason, this room has always caught my attention. I'll never know why. There's just something about it that I like. So this one's also very well preserved, and it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow, little fireplace. So one thing that y'all should know, the restrooms were actually added in the 60s. It wasn't a thing to have actual restrooms inside at the time in the 1800s. People had outhouses and they would have buckets of water to shower. This one over here is called the Ringgold. We can't go in this one at this time, but I stayed in there too. It's a pretty cool room. There's a couple more rooms on the outside. So here we end up at the front of the building. This, when I was driving up, this is where I passed through so y'all could see the front. And now we're on the balcony of the front of the building. Now we're gonna see the red room. This is the room that everyone talks about. Keep an eye out. Claimed to have been the room of one of the daughters of Francisco La Borde. The tale goes she committed suicide by hanging after her father discovered that she was having an affair with a married man. Until this day, guests claim that they have seen her roam the hotel grounds dressed in red and her face covered with a black veil. Other unexplained occurrences have been reported, such as the bed sheets moving, water faucets turning on by themselves, and the television going on and off on its own. None of that sounded too surprising to me. The time that I stayed here, I could have sworn that the shower was on and it wasn't. Yeah, when I had stayed here. No, that's exactly what had happened. I thought the shower was running, and I went to go check, and it wasn't. So then I thought maybe it's like after you flush the toilet that the water stays running for a little bit. But no, it wasn't that either. I just thought I heard one. Fun fact, just so that everyone can laugh at me, I stayed in this room and I went out that door to the balcony and I locked myself out on the balcony. I could not get back inside. The door locks after you walk outside and I was stuck. So then I had to call for help. I wasn't sure if to call the people at the front desk or to call the fire department to get me off with a ladder or something. At the time, it did not occur to me that it was pretty simple to get out. I was freaking out for about 2 hours. The first hour was me freaking out, not wanting to call anyone and admit that I had locked myself out on a balcony. I'm taking a deep breath before entering the Texian. I always get a weird feeling in here. I've always thought this one's pretty cool. The first time I actually walked into this room was a couple of months ago, maybe about 2-3 months ago, because I've always been too freaked out by this room to walk in. I would always walk up to the door and I never walked in every time I came by to see the rooms. First time I ever walked in was 2 months ago. And this is my second time in here. There's something about this room feels odd. And we're back on our way out.
Fíjate si ese beso está bien. Ya le di mucho tornillo.
Pues se cerró bien. Se cerró bien. Ay, nomás recoges la basura de los papeles y eso.
Ahorita ya acabe.
Cuando acabes, por eso, cuando termines.
A las 3 ahorita ya quiero acabar. Fíjate.
¿Por qué tarda tanto?
Es el aire que lo está teniendo allá.
Ok, está bien.
Yo creo que está bien. Si no, pues, vamos bien.
So to wrap up, this is the back door. Over there on the other side is the front door. Up there, we were in the front balcony, and this is the back balcony. We didn't go on the back balcony, but when I stayed here, the yellow room is the one right there next to the door. I kept hearing something in the room next to the yellow one. So when I was staying there, I went out into the balcony to see what the noise was, and I've mentioned that I kept hearing sounds like someone was moving furniture, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I could not understand why someone would be moving furniture at 2 o'clock in the morning. So this is the yellow room that we were in a little while ago. The lights are off, so you can't really see. But we were in that room a little while ago. And I kept hearing noises in the room next door, which is this one. I called to the front office to ask the people in room 28 to please keep it down. And I was told that there was no one in room 27 or room 28 because room 27 had not been rented, and room 28 is a storage closet. It is a room, but they use it as a storage closet where they keep Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations. So I thought that was amazing. I was hearing things. And there was no one in there moving furniture. I just thought it'd be cool to show you guys this log right here. It's a petrified log. I feel like I just heard something behind me. That was so weird. So this is the highway. This is US Highway South 83. So we are trying to, let me put my blinker on, trying to get on the highway so I can show you guys the bridge. So you see that stop sign right there? If you go past that stop sign, you hit the river. So I came one street over so I can show you guys the river. These are some of the old buildings. This is the water tower. And that right there is the river. Believe it or not, we are here. So, let me park. So you see guys, this is normal to drive. That's Mexico. That right there is Mexico. Everything that you're seeing is Mexico. This is like a little hill. And if you hit the bottom of the hill, you see the river. You see that? There it is. That is the river. So I'm gonna get down in a few moments so y'all can see everything. I just wanted to circle around and make sure y'all got to see all these cool buildings. I once went into that building. It was terrifying. That over there, that is the church. People come from all over to come to that church. Let's see, more old buildings. And I'm just going around the block so I can get us back to the river. That's the highway right there. It's the river right here. So let's just stick the car in here and let's check it out. Cool history fact. This was the jail. Like, this was literally the jail. It's tiny. But that was it. Alright guys. There's people here on the observation deck, so I'm gonna go to the bottom. Check this out. Me and my hills, right? Ooh, almost fell. Gonna go around. Oh shoot. the Rio Grande River is really cool. There used to be steamboats that would pass through this river. So right now we're in Roma, and the river used to have all these boats going through it, and these boats would travel all throughout the Rio Grande Valley because the river connects all of these cities. So right now we're in Roma, and earlier we were in Rio Grande City, which on our way in I stopped at the Santa Cruz, which was the big hill. Then I stopped at the Borde house, which is the place that has a tunnel. So when it hits Rio Grande, all of these boats would park at the river. There would be people like at the bottom of the river, right, that would get the stuff off the boats, and they would start taking the stuff into the tunnel, and the tunnel would go under the highway and it would come out at the Borde house. So something I want to point out right over there, see the bridge? The left side of the bridge looks different than the right side of the bridge. So the left side, that's the American side. The white side over there, that's the Mexican side. Those people, they're in America, America, went to Mexico, and now they're both in Mexico. Yep, they just went into Mexico, just like that. See some people right there on that side. It's easy to talk to them and communicate and say, hey, what's up? The funny part is a lot of people like to get in the river and just chill. They stand like right there where that patch of land is, and they'll stand there and they'll fish. So growing up, I had a house on this side, and we had a house over there on that side, and we would just walk across there to the other house. Oh my gosh. So as you can tell, there are a lot of hills here. So I had also pointed out that that's how Roma got its name. So Roma, Italia, which is Rome, Italy, has the same amount of hills that Roma, Texas does. So Roma got its name from Roma, Italia, because of the similarities in their geography. Now here we have some of the birds that you find in this area. The Rio Grande has some amazing birds because of the fact that it's by the river. Over here's a little bit more of the wildlife. Check out the kinds of animals here. The vegetation. Yes, we have bats. In case people were wondering, we have bats. Everything looks like that. There's water and spikes everywhere. Now we've talked a lot about these locations in history class and in geography. Well, briefly in geography, mostly in history. Where we talked about right here where we have San Antonio. We talked about where Monterrey is. I don't see any other labeled things on here that we've talked about. But right now we are around here. My finger there. The camera angle, I guess. And somehow I ended up living way over here. This is the church that I showed you guys earlier. The church. These are some of the historical landmarks. So whenever we were talking about the Texas Revolution, all of this was already here, but it was part of Mexico at the time. Look at these steamboats. Check this out. Check out the old cemetery, guys. And real quick, here's just a little bonus. This is the house that I grew up in. I grew up here with my grandparents. I'm just giving y'all a quick little viewing. There's a little fountain over there in the back. There's a kiosk. My grandma's got a little bridge here. There's some sidewalks and some little benches. There's the front of the house. There's more house that way. I don't feel like walking that way. That's our outdoor kitchen.